Now, Charles.
Yeah.
I hope this is not going to be another case of technical defeat. Now, when the president says insecurity declining, how does this resonate with you?
Okay, well, I think maybe if you look at it, put it, in communication, there's content, there's context. In content, it may not be totally true, but in context, if you look at the context and then the comparison between now and what it used to be, maybe about a couple of months back, he might be right because the decline is that it's going down, right? Yeah, irrespective of the fact that you have about 30 people being killed in Sokoto and all that. That's just
existing side by side.
Yes. But if you compare to how it was a couple of months back, maybe let's even say last year, when even the newspaper headlines dominated the paper headline was killing here, kidnapping here, and all that. Once in a while, it is traced into the newspaper headlines and it receipts and all that, which is why the government is saying. He also said part of a protest about it said he was appealing to us media men to find a way not to always, amplify the successes in quote of the criminal gangs, but rather we should report the successes being recorded in the fight against insecurity. So he was appealing to journalists, all of us, and all that. So that's what I'm saying. If he says it's declining, yes, sometimes you might see pockets of here, but it has not totally been wiped out. So, but if he has said insecurity had been wiped out ahead, then we would have said how. But if he says it's declining, that's as I said in context, when you compare now and what used to be perhaps maybe last year, you could say yes, it has a major, maybe a modicum of fact in that. But it has not totally been wiped out. That is exactly why we are afraid. If you look at now, Zamfara, for instance, they're almost gaining, pace is almost returning. But now, when they chase them away from there, they now got a safe haven in the Niger State and some other state. And so it seems as if we are actually winning the war against insurgency, against banditry and all that, but we're not totally home yet.
But how do you prove this? Bearing in mind that no day passes without a report of someone getting killed.
Yes, I said, some of us who are communication, we are into communication and all that. I looked at the language, declining.
Okay.
It is the declining that I'm talking about. But if you say it has been totally wiped out, or insecurity is no more, look, if it's where...
How do you measure that?
I just measure that. Okay, if you look at, just take all the newspaper. Today is Monday. Today is Tuesday. Okay, take newspaper from Monday last week till now, which is about 8 days or 9 days. Look at just collate all of them and see how many of the insecurity stories will dominate banner headlines compared to before. How it was last year or even early days. That's what I'm looking at. That's why I say the language declining is where I say yes, it may be correct. But if you want to take what Lai Mohammed has said, that it has been totally wiped out or Femi Adesina, we could quarrel. But it's the language declining that I'm analyzing.
Okay.
Like he could be right. When you look at, as I said, if you look at the headlines you mentioned, how many of them gain prominence on the as banner headline and all that. So that's what I'm looking at. We may even see it on the earpiece or maybe bottom strip, but not banner headlines. That's why I've said that we could take him on that and say, okay, yes, it could be a bit right, not totally right.
And even with the U.S. joining forces with Nigeria, just like the banner headline says, the nation U.S. joined forces with Nigeria, and the president also saying 6 more to Kano jets in. So
the last batch.
Yes. Compared to what you just said.
So I think, but if some of us we have very privileged information about what they've been doing over there. But some of this because of insecurity and all that, this patriotism, we may not be able to say that on open television and all that. So they actually, I think we have cause to applaud the government for now. But what we are hoping, I think we are making haste slowly. That's where I quarrel with that. Yes.
How effective now that Nigeria is taking delivery of the last batch of Tucano jets? How effective have these jets been all this while? Especially, I want you to consider the fact that we've had a number of them being brought down by these insurgents.
Yeah, shut down.
Well, for me, based on report and all that, I wouldn't. I may be wrong, but that's personally. Even looking into reports and all that, I've not actually seen any effectiveness of the Tucano jets because we've not seen any significant maybe leap from where it was to where we are now. So we are still doing what we have been doing. But what I would say is that we know that some sources have been recorded, particularly that Zamfara that became safe haven for them, and then from Beniguari in Kaduna, all that forest that stretches from Kaduna, Beniguari, all the way to even Niger Republic, all of them. So they've been able to comb that, but I'm not sure it is because of the arrival of the Tucano jet last year and even the delivery. It has been a steady, maybe an increase in what the military is doing, but I don't think it, because I have not seen a very useful and effective collaboration between the air defense and the infantry. What I've been seeing, because I've not been told that even the Tucano jet has shut down some of, but I know that military aircraft have been deployed, but not really Tucano super jet, as they call it. So it's been the usual fight, but as I said, we appear to be gaining successes, but not because of the arrival of the Tucano jets. That's the way I see it.
Now, what about the fact that some of these Tucano jets are being brought down by these insurgents? Is it sophistication on the part of these insurgents or lack of mastery, something?
No, I think one of the downside of this insecurity is that there seem to be insider information that they take very privileged information from the military circles and give it to the this criminal elements. That's why they are able to, they are emboldened to even shut down. But, so which means they have rocket launchers. What they seize from, a number of times they have visited Madrid and other areas where they made incursions into these military informations and they cut away some of these weapons and all that. So some of these people are seeing in their hands, and then who knows if even some of the people who have been dismissed from the military and have not even been recruited among them, who of course understand the use of all these things. So you see that even as we speak, I can't say if there's no insider information to them about how to do all this, and I mean, the movement of the military. And that's why I always quarrel with the military. That in most cases you see them even organizing press conferences, telling the world what they are going to do. It doesn't happen anywhere. The US cannot tell. Osama bin Laden, before they caught him and they killed him, I didn't hear it even on CNN or any other that this is what the military intended to do. They were doing covert operation until they got him out. But you see our military men, they will call defense correspondents together. Oh, we are expecting 19 Tucano jets. We are going to be building. You don't do that. You are what you do. You are advancing privileged information to the enemy, and the enemy will not.
And you wouldn't think this is deliberate.
Well, I just think whether it's deliberate or not, but I think it's the rot in the system. It's the rot, because when the Nigerian military because my father was a major in the army before he passed on because he's not retired. So I understand a bit of military warfare and all that. So information that's telling you they got. Sometimes the military can even infiltrate into universities. I heard of a story when there was an army captain who was in a university for 5 years. This man not a graduate, but you didn't know that he was planted there just to get information and all that. That's exactly what you infiltrate the ranks and all that. Take them over there so that when they get all the information, they pass that straight to the military information, who will now make sure that they assess it, they profile it, and then they use. But what do you have here? You find people within the military giving information to the enemies, and that, of course, is very professional.
Thank you
so very much. You're still very much here because right now we're delving straight to the major topic for discussion this morning. The state congress is held across the country on Saturday, but the All Progressives Congress APC were characterized by crisis and formation of powerless state executives of the party in several states. Now, some of the affected states include Lagos, Ogun, Enugu, Kwara, Imo, Sokoto, Kano, Niger, Osun Delta, Abia, and Rivers. Now, reacting to this, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, criticized the All Progressives Congress, APC, over the division which characterized its state congresses, describing it as a harvest of confusion. Charles is still very much here with us.
That's
now,
right.
parallel congresses and the emergence of parallel executives now seem to be the order of the day. What's your thoughts here?
Well, I think it's quite unfortunate that rather than making progress in a democratic process, a democratic experience, which of course this current one that came into being in 1999, we put in about 21 years, if I'm not mistaken, into this democratic experience, and yet we appear to be making haste backward, which of course is not good at all. Because if you had a son who is about 22 years old, the son should have maybe graduated from university and then he's become a man, and you expect to be talking about how to settle to get married and all that. But that's not just about 22 years old in this current dispensation that we are in. But we're still racing backward. Which of what I said, it is not. That's why it worries me. And we appear to be willy-nilly tied to two apron strings of these two devices, PDP or APC.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and they appear not to be taking us to that El Dorado that all of us are desiring in governance, in politics and all that. Even right now, you saw what also happened PDP last Thursday, or last Thursday, when they quickly gave heed to this issue of consensus. The consensus, they quickly brought just IU as the consensus candidate of Northern Nigeria. But you see, you can't deepen the gains of democracy if you begin to fly the kite of consensus. Michael is here, you are here, I'm here. Okay, why don't you let us go into the fields and test our popularity? The people may say, oh, it's Churchill there, they want, okay, it's Michael Nat or you. But you say, no, you know what I'm going to do? Let's bring out Michael Nat, and then let's take Michael Nat. Everybody accept Michael Nat as the candidate of the party. It doesn't work that way. There's no way to deepen democracy. Democracy is about choice, about popular choice. Let people have the say. Let people have that... give them the prerogative to say this is who we want to choose to lead us based on what they have seen, maybe pedigree, maybe experience, maybe everything about the person or about the group of person. In Lagos now, you have about each of these 245 wards, you have 37 officers. You know, they're going to be leading them. Okay, you now impose about 37 officers in a local government, for instance. You say, whether you like it or not, these are the choice of the elders of the party. Move with them, whether you like it or not. It only deepen the gates of democracy. Look at in Lagos, for instance, you have two factions. You have the one for Balogun, Tude Balogun, and then you have the one for Babajide Adediran, the one they call Jandor. Okay. You have them. Okay, parallel congresses. How do you one single party, two executive? How do you expect us to move forward in that? You go to Bende, not Bende, Delta. My other brother from the second half of Bende. That's Delta. You have Omogege's fashion. You have Kayamo fashion, and everything is about the race towards the governorship. In case you are unaware, in Delta, for instance, you have Kayamo. He has his eye on the ball to take over from Okowa. That's Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Wow. You have Omogege, the Deputy Senate President. He also has his eye on that ball. And both of them are Urobo. Right? So you now have them. So the reason why all these are coming up is that, don't forget that if a politician is able to get hold of the party machinery within a setting, the person can coast home any day. That's why you see all these race towards having to be in control of all the party machineries around this. But I think I blame the leadership of APC. Now, Buhari came into power. Have you ever read, maybe in recent years, where he called everybody to rein them in? Do you know Obasanjo's time? Obasanjo fully assumed the leadership of the party. The president is supposed to be the leader of the party. Because if we're running a parliamentary government, the prime minister is the head of government, the head of the party. Yeah. Which was what Oshomole attempted to do by reining everybody in and instilling party supremacy upon everybody. But right now you have a president who is more concerned about governance and leaving, say, okay, you people, if you like, just do whatever. Which is of what people are saying, and I tend to believe that after the exit of Buhari from this government, APC, the implosion that may happen, you already have, all this one I say they are precursors to what might happen when he exists from power. The center may not hold, because you already have centrifugal forces that are pulling them from the center as we speak. Yeah. So I think that the time is still a bit, okay, we still have time because we have about many months before we get to 2023 election. But let me also warn that as soon as we cross the 31st December 2021 into 2022, everything about governance will go on recess. Everybody will be focused on how and all that. Yeah. So that's why they have to get these things right now. Or else it might even affect you, not a party. And when a party, I'm not a party, she's not a party, it might affect us, because the politics that we're going to be playing will be politics of division, where we will not have clear-cut process that we cause even a popular choice of the people to emerge. That's exactly what we're having now. All right.
In Lagos State, the APC in Lagos held 3 parallel congresses. The main held at Mobolaji Johnson's sports ground. Of course, Mr. Collins Ojelabi emerged as winner, and the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was present. He was on ground for the Congress, but the statement he made, he said he was not aware of any Congress in the state, and according to him, the Congresses were mere naming ceremonies. Now, coming from a governor that, of course, is the governor of the state and also a member of the APC party.
He ought to also be the leader of the party in Lagos State. All governors, by arrangement or by default, or by convention, are supposed to be leaders of that party. You see what what Obaseki is doing in the Edo State is trying to get hold of the party machinery, so that's exactly how. But in Lagos State, I'm not sure it will be fitting to say that someone is the leader of the party in Lagos State. It's not possible.
Yeah, because the same party brought him up over Ambode.
So that's exactly what most of them are doing. Be in charge of the party machinery, so that when you get over there, you can have total control. Look at Ambode. Ambode was not in charge of the party, but I mean, when the chiefs were down, he was. I mean, the rug was pulled off his feet. You understand? But if he had been a fully in charge, like what's his name, Obaseki in Edo State, permit me always get it because that's the recent history. Yeah. Obaseki in Edo State, when Oshomole was doing all this, and what he did was just quickly got over to PDP. He got their ticket. He did whatever he would do, and when he won that ticket, he knew that he was not in charge of the party, so they could control him. So what he did, he was now dismantling all the existing structures and putting his own in place, so that he can be in firm control of the party. Because if he didn't do that, any little thing, then the wave may just sweep him aside. So if you have a situation, a regime where you have this factionalization of partners, it brings about destabilization and instability in the system, which we don't need it. We want a situation whereby we have a process that is very seamless, a process that is self-enduring, a process that you have a smooth change of baton from one group or the other and all that. So everybody can just file in. If you have a process that is working, you have a template. The template can endure, and it will bring about a deepening of our democratic system, a democratic culture in the system, which of course you don't have now. We are always going back and forth like a yo-yo, going up and down, or a pendulum of the grandfather clock, going left and going right and all that.
But it looks like Nigerian politics. It looks like Nigerian politics. Do you think really it's possible for the president to be a leader of his party, or the governor of a state to spearhead the affairs of a party that really, they'll use the word, made you who you are? Look at you hold your internal party elections, and you bring out a candidate, and this candidate, you have people who they are holding the party together, and then you come and you want to control the affairs of the party. Of course, they won't let you, and everything, they will work together to bring you down. That's the Nigerian system of politics. So do you think this system you're trying to talk about would really be possible in Nigeria?
No, it's not. It was possible here once. You know, Obasanjo was firmly in control. Even though some of the antics I may not have
Yes.
bought into it, I still don't buy into them because that you have to, ram everybody in and all that. But you see, there has to be a party supremacy. I was young. I was in secondary school, just a young lad when I was in secondary school. There was these 5 parties in Nigeria. You had the APC, not APC, sorry. You have UPN, you have the NPN, you have the GNPP, you have the NPC, and then PROP, Aminu Kano. You saw Awolowo. Awolowo was not even the chairman of the party, but you see, you had the leader of the party who was firmly in charge. Now, UPN, as at that time, between 1979 and 1983, when Buhari's coup drove them all out, all the 5 states that were in control of UPN, they had the uniformity of processes. You had all of them similarity in the policy of education, for education, everything. So if you left Bende State for Ogun State, you met the same thing. You left Lagos State, where you have Baba Kekere, who just died at 91 recently, Jakonde.
Jakonde, yeah.
Everything, Ba Jasin in Ondo State, everything was the same because they had a structure that was national. So all you needed to do, if you were a UPN person, you just flow into that structure. You couldn't bring your own personal thing into it because there was a structure you met and you were supposed to abide by the structure. So it happened here once. It happened here during your time. But it's not happening here because of that's what because this marriage of inconvenience that brought about the APC today was only put in place in 2014, 2013. You had the half of PDP, you call the NPDP, you had the ANPP, half of it, you have half of AGA. They just quickly came, the ACN in South, they quickly came together just to wrest power from the PDP, that's Golo Jonathan. Yeah. So after they got power, for 6 months they were floundering, not knowing what to do with the power. It's still the same thing we have today. You understand? So you now see that even when all these pockets of interest they came in, there was no center to hold them.
Yeah.
There was no center to hold them. So that's what you are seeing now, that there's this centrifugal forces pulling them from the center. Everybody is just like a man. Everybody, okay, this is Israel, this is Moabite. Everybody wants to pull out of the center. So that's why I said that the president needs to be in charge of the party to rein them all in and bring all of them under one umbrella
the same
under one broom.
And the same thing happening at the state level.
Exactly. So what they need to do is that let there be democracy. Let people, give them the right to choose who will lead them. So this thing that is also creeping in, that there's two terms that you're using, two nomenclatures. You have they call them ratification and affirmation.
Okay. So
the elders of the party, they have ratified those who will lead them. Then they expected all these world countries to now affirm
to it.
So that's where we are.
All right.
Thank you so very much.
Ciao.
Yeah, for doing justice to the subject.
Thank you.